even though I and maybe a couple other people don't follow Rotten Tomato, there are a lot of people who look at the Rotten Tomato score and they say, oh, they hated it. I'm going to go see the movie. Because people love validation. They want someone to tell them what's good and what's not because they're too lazy to figure it out for themselves. They don't want to think. They're NPCs. Not the fans, not the core fan base, but the regular, normal person. When it comes to this stuff, they don't know anything about nothing. And they want someone to tell them how good it is. All right, man, Torture Talk. Like, share, subscribe to the page. Hit the thumbs up button if you like the content. If you want to come along with me, just consider subscribing. You know what it is. So, a couple of announcements. This page will no longer be presenting Combat Convo. Combat Convo will be on its own YouTube channel. So just type in Combat Convo and you'll see me and the boy S doing our thing. We talk about boxing, we talk about MMA, UFC, and wrestling. And here you have it. So I want to talk about Black Adam, and I see a lot of YouTube channels saying that it was a box office bomb and it didn't do good, and it wasn't it was a failure, all of those negative words. And before I get into that, I just want to say a couple of things about what I noticed about YouTube. What I notice about YouTube channels is they usually wait for someone else to do something, and then they piggyback off of that, and then they piggyback, then someone else piggyback, someone else piggyback, someone else piggyback, someone else piggyback. It's like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? And it's kind of annoying to see everyone spitting the same rhetoric that everyone else spits. It's like you're saying the same thing that everybody else is saying. You ain't going into details. You ain't digging deep into nothing. You just going off of what you seen online, and you said, oh, that person said that. Well, let me say it. Let me go on and say it now. And to me, that's weak. That's a weak way of going about it. Now, let's talk about Black Adam. And the reason why I don't believe it was a failure. And I'm telling y'all right now, this is going to get a part 2 to the movie. Number one, what we got to understand is the pandemic ruined everything. Everything. It ruined everything. Usually Marvel didn't have it. Marvel movies, and we'll talk about Marvel in the next video, but Marvel movies usually didn't struggle at all on any front. I would even go as far as saying before the pandemic, DC movies didn't really struggle either. Didn't struggle either. So you have to take that into consideration. And that goes for Marvel and DC. The reason why Marvel has been successful for the last couple of movies, because number one, these movies are sequel movies. Most of the movies that did well during the pandemic or after the pandemic with Marvel, or I don't know if we ain't even still in it, but you know what I'm saying, is there were sequels. That's 2. 3, rest in peace to Chadwick, but Black Panther only did really good because the man passed away. If the man was alive, I believe it was still did good, but still people went out to see the movie because he passed away and they wanted to see how they handle it. You see what happened 3-4 weeks later. I mean, it made its money, and we don't want to get into conspiracies of how it made its money, but we know, everybody knows what they did to get that movie to make money. We know what they do. They do the same thing in the record industry. We ain't stupid. So, of course, that movie did well. It didn't make as much money as they thought it was going to make, but it did pretty well. Now, Black Adam is a new character. I don't care if The Rock is the biggest person in the world. It's different when it comes to comic books because people stick to the source material. They don't care. Black Adam isn't a popular character. He's not. Let's just get that out the way. So for y'all to say this movie was a bomb, honestly, it really wasn't. It did better than what people expected. You're not going to get $1 billion out of this movie. Let's just get that out the way. Black Adam wasn't going to do $1 billion. And my thing is, why the fuck do y'all care if Black Adam did $1 billion? I see people arguing as if they work for Warner Brothers. You motherfuckers don't work for Warner Brothers. Why are y'all arguing over, well, it should have did this, it should have did that, or it should have made more money. It should have, listen, if you go look at the Rotten Tomatoes score, I hate Rotten Tomatoes, but you look at the score, they killed this movie. They killed it. But if you look at the audience score, they loved it. So for you to say the movie didn't make money because of the audience, that's bullshit. What happened was, even though I and maybe a couple other people don't follow Rotten Tomatoes, there are a lot of people who look at the Rotten Tomatoes score and they say, oh, they hated it, I'm gonna go see the movie. Because people love validation. They want someone to tell them what's good and what's not because they're too lazy to figure it out for themselves. They don't want to think. They're NPCs. Not the fans, not the core fan base, but the regular, normal person. When it comes to this stuff, they don't know anything about nothing. And they want someone to tell them how good it is. This is what it is with Black Adam. I gave Black Adam a 7. I thought it was okay. It was okay. And I already explained my position. I thought that the storyline could have been much better. As far as the action goes, it was phenomenal. To me, it was better than Black Panther. Hands down. But again, if you look at the audience score on Black Panther, if you look at the critic scores on Black Panther, at one point it was like a 99. For a while, 95 or something like that. For a long time, maybe like 5 days or something like that. Come on. So again, people are looking for someone to tell them what's good and what's not good. And that's what happened with Black Adam. The normal person went to see the movie. It made enough money, but it didn't make enough money to satisfy certain people. So what happens is, you and most of your people who do reviews of movies, you're going to say the movie was a flop. You don't care if the movie was good or not. You just care about whether it made enough money to satisfy whatever you believe it should get a sequel for. Oh, it cost $200 million to make. It has to make $700 million. Who the fuck told you that? Who told y'all that? Y'all don't work for these companies. They do what they want to do. Why do y'all feel as though y'all have to validate everything off of money and sales? Oh shit. I'm sure that there are some Nikes that Nike came out with that didn't do as well, and they still released them. I'm sure that there's plenty of Disney Marvel movies that was terrible and that didn't do well, and they still got a sequel. This is what I'm saying. So y'all judge things off of money and how much it made. Black Adam to me again was a 7. But I do believe that it was a success because number one, they made more. They probably made more money than they expected to make. I don't care. I never seen The Rock say, "Oh, we need to make this amount of money." I ain't see nobody from Warner Brothers say we need to make this amount of money. Y'all just putting that label on something because that's how y'all feel. Oh, well, if it costs $200 million to make, they need to at least make $700 million to be a profit. How the fuck you know that? How do you know that? How do you know that? Did they tell y'all that? Did they say, oh yeah, this is what it is? You don't know. Y'all don't know if that's what happened behind closed doors. They probably listen. I'm sure that they know what projection is and what is what. I'm sure they do. And we are. And again, we are in the business. When it comes to movies, they're in the business of making money. But a lot of y'all fans, what y'all do is y'all use that as a means to like something. Oh shit, Black Adam went and got $1 billion. It must be great. Oh my God. It has to be the greatest movie ever because it made $1 billion. I see people arguing over Joker. I think Joker was phenomenal. I think it was an excellent movie. But I see people arguing, saying that the Joker wasn't that good. Then I see people saying the Joker was excellent because it made $1 billion. It's like, really? Which one is it going to be? Y'all fans are so fucking fickle when it comes to this shit. And a lot of y'all YouTubers, what y'all do is y'all prop this shit up as if that's the main concern that y'all have is how much money did a movie make. Y'all don't even care about what's going on in the movie. Oh man, this movie made this. Y'all cut a movie down, then get mad if it makes money. But then when a movie that's really good don't make money, you'll say, "Oh well, it was corny. It wasn't that good. It must have been a flop." It's like, come on, what are y'all doing here? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I think Black Adam was a success because of people are starting to go back to the movies. Now, again, if we're going to talk about Marvel, first of all, Marvel machine is much bigger. Spider-Man and all the other movies, they're much bigger than Black Adam. Let's just be clear here. You had 3 Spider-Mans in Homecoming. Or No Way Home, or whichever Spider-Man it was, the last one. 3 of them. All 3 of them. So how can you compare Spider-Man with all 3 Spider-Mans to Black Adam, who isn't even a big superhero or supervillain? He's a new character that graced the screen and is played by The Rock. That's it. I understand it. I will say this. I don't like Grace Randolph at all. I don't. I do agree with what she said about DC fans. DC fans talk a lot of shit online, but don't go support the movie. They support online. They got all these, I'm in all these DC groups. All these DC groups. I think a lot of the real reason why DC fans don't go support is because I think a lot of people are embarrassed to go see a DC movie. I do. I think people are embarrassed to see a DC movie because Marvel is like everything to everybody when it comes to the movies. Marvel movies, Marvel Cinematic Universe is like everything to everybody. Now it's kind of trash. Marvel's trash. But when Zack was running DC, they had competition. People always saying tough about Zack Snyder. But every one of Zack Snyder movies, every one of his movies was more successful than Walter Hamada movies. Every one of them. Whatever you want to say. From Man of Steel, BVS, again, everybody's going, oh man, these movies should have made $1 billion. It should have made this. It doesn't matter. If it cost that much money, people were still going to see the movies though. But I think after Aquaman, then I think Suicide Squad, and all the other movies, they wasn't as successful. Aquaman was, but Suicide Squad wasn't. That's what I believe. So I'm just gonna say, congratulations to The Rock for making his movie. I think he did a great job on that character. And you're gonna see another a Black Adam movie. I don't understand why y'all believe you're not. Like, you're gonna see another one. Now, if it bombs this time, like y'all say, then maybe he won't get a sequel. But I can almost guarantee y'all The Rock's gonna get another movie. Like, come on, bro. Stop. You know what I'm saying? Stop. The movie still made what, $400 million. I don't care if it cost 200 million. It still made 400 million. So if you're gonna say, oh well, it's supposed to have made 700 to 900 million, almost a billion. Like, no, I don't give a fuck about that, because you don't know what happens behind closed doors when it comes to that. If that's the case, most of these movies was been losing money. If they wasn't ever gonna make any more comic book movies, they would have been stopped doing it. But they've been losing money for the last 2-3 years. They've been losing money. They ain't been really making a whole lot of money like they used to. I think it's oversaturated and there's too much going on. But again, we'll see what happens. Torture Talk. You know what it is, man.